We need $70,000 to buy the new oil mill. And with the way the farm's been producing products, I think that is certainly within reach. And I think we'll be able to generate the rest of what we need right here in this episode. We're starting by renting ourselves a hoe to clear any weeds from what is currently 3 canola fields. I noticed the fields had those strange thin lines of weeds again, so they have to go. Somehow, I can't help but think it's related to the cultivator seeder, but we won't know until we get another cultivator and find out what it does. All I know is that I'd feel better about renting an entire machine if the whole field had weeds and not just these narrow strips. It is what it is though, and we won't stand for weeds in the field, so let's get them ripped out of there. All right, no more weeds, and that means a little more canola next year. We'll return the hoe with only 20 minutes of use on it and call it quits for the month of September. October will be one of our busy months, and the last time this year we'll be working the grass fields. The silage is almost done fermenting, so while we wait, we can start mowing the grass and get it baled. And I'm going to try and use the worker as much as possible to see if we can get a little help getting it all done. The grass fields are not very big, a little weird shaped in spots, and so holding the worker's hand might be more trouble than it's worth, but we'll see. We've got to experiment with things. The worker's just taken off for the far corner of the field, so I'm not too hopeful, but we'll see what we can do. Well, on the first field, we let the worker finish the centerpiece, so I did get a little baling done at the same time. In this next field, let's set the worker off completely on their own to do any headlands or whatever it wants and see how they get on. While they do that, we'll finish baling the first field and try to keep an eye on him. Well, he's doing something. I see a strip of mowed grass, and it looks like they're turning around at the far end. So we'll do another lap. Look at that. A second strip's been mowed, and they're working on a third. Nice. The hired hand is getting it done, and will probably be done here in just a minute. Yeah, they're finished. Well done. So we'll take over and move the tractor over to the next field in the grass circuit and do the same. Just set the worker off to do the job and figure out whatever it is they need to do. Okay, we're on the second field. The worker is basically done with the headland on field 3. I think this is going to work out. Now, I'm having to pay the worker this whole time, but these grass fields bring in a little over $100,000 annually. So I don't really mind spending a few $100s on a worker that helps us out on the farm and helps us progress a little quicker now that we've seemed to be growing the farm at a fantastic rate. I'm not quite finished baling field number 2, and they're just about finished with field number 3, so it couldn't work out much better. I'll finish this last strip here and catch up on the baling just a little. Then we'll go take over and get the tractor moved to the 4th field. I think I'll just mow this field on my own because we do have the flour mill at one end and the silo with some funny shaped grass at the other edge, so either one of those, or maybe even the Manchurian pine saplings, might confuse the poor worker. Speaking of the Manchurian pines, I don't think we'll even see the first growth stage for at least another year. Probably close to 2. After planting the Manchurians, I researched and found out they take about 10 years to fully mature. They do produce more wood than the lodgepole pines, but I could grow like 3 rounds of lodgepoles while 1 stand of Manchurian are growing. So if you do plant them, maybe do them for the reason I did, just because it would be fun to grow something different. Though if I had planted them at the beginning of this series, they'd be fully grown this year. We could just start cutting them down. Believe it or not, we are in year 10 on the farm. And in just 10 years, it seems like we've made incredible progress. And now we've finished with the main baling. To finish off the partial grass in the baler, I'm going to take the baler back down to the second field and bale up the grass on the road. With any luck, we'll finish this bale and maybe get a second one. Very close to a second bale, so I'll do a little switcheroo with the front loader, hook on the front mower, and get that last tiny bit of grass to finish the 14% we need for the bale. There, it was almost nothing. We'll get our toys put back away in the shed and change gears into making more money for the oil mill. All this time we've been working the grass, the silage has finished fermenting. So we'll get the auto stacker and get all the bales loaded and sold. This should put us well over the $200,000 mark. That's a little over $36,000 in silage and an account balance over $211,000. The oil mill is $240,000, so it's definitely within reach this episode. And it's still early in October to do whatever we need to. While we've got the auto stacker hooked up, let's go ahead and get all the bales scooped up from the field and on the side to wrap for our last silage of the year. We won't be doing this again for another 6 months. There we go. All the bales neatly stacked and ready for wrapping. We'll stow the auto stacker in its place and switch out the log grab for the bale spike and finish up the job with the bales by getting them wrapped. I think I've said it before, but between the Anderson wrapper and the auto stacker to pick up the bales, this whole bale collection and wrapping operation has become very automated. I actually quite like this little maneuvering to get the bales wrapped. All right, come January, those will be ready to sell, and we'll need that money for the new tractor I have planned. We've been getting more and better equipment for the farm, and what we have the pleasure of doing now is using our latest purchase of a bigger grass roller. This job of rolling went from lengthy to fast with a single piece of equipment. All done, and done quickly. That'll get popped back into the shed, and I believe we're done with October. I was going to cut a few trees and get that last bit of money for the oil mill, but the tree prices in October were not very good at all at any of the sell points, so I thought it best to be a little patient, wait till November, and hopefully let the price rise at one or more locations. Okay. Here we are, an absolutely beautiful morning here on the farm. There's definitely times when the game has a magnificent feel to it. It is time though now to get into those trees and get a couple trailer loads sold. The price did improve overnight at the sawmill, so it's time to put the John Deere and the log grab back into action and get cutting a few trees. There we go. For better or for worse, they're loaded. And that last log became completely stuck on the trailer with the other logs, so we only got 3 trees on there. And I guess we'll just limp the dangly one over to the sawmill and ride the shoulder to avoid any cars. Dangling trees don't affect sale price, and we put almost another $20,000 in the account. We are only $10,300 away from the oil mill. One more load of logs will do the trick. There, this one's much more neatly stacked, and we were able to get all 4 trees loaded without any real problems. It's definitely full, and the last few had to be carefully placed, but not a problem. Let's get these sold and see where it puts the account. Over $25,000 and a whopping $254,000 in the account. Plenty for the sawmill with some to spare. Let's get back to the farm where we can make the long-awaited purchase. I think we've been focused pretty seriously on this oil mill for a good 4 episodes now, but it's worth the wait. And I'll place the oil mill and go over some numbers to show exactly how much money the oil mill is going to make us in the next episode. Like and subscribe so you don't miss the purchase of our biggest production building so far, and I'll see you in the next one.